Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, it's Football Friday. Let's go. Welcome into a Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show as we get set for a huge weekend in football, which starts tonight, by the way, my friend, as my beloved Florida State Seminoles are at NC State tonight on a Friday night, another ACC special. Yeah, baby, they love doing that to us. Woo! Yeah, we love that conference. Get me
Friday nights for high school football, not college. Leave it alone.
100%. Thursday night football, I'm all for it for college, not pro. You get weird results as last night. By the way, 8 sacks on Josh Allen, and the Bucs could not sniff him.
Kind of a bad look.
That's concerning. But anyway, we got lots of stuff to get to. Buccaneer stuff. Bucky. Yes. It's a very interesting story. I've been trying to do some research on this overnight since it hit. Still got lots of texts out to try to find some information, but we'll talk about it, what's going on with Bucky. Evidently, there are some mental health issues involved here, that he's struggling emotionally, being away from his teammates. So we're going to break all that down here in just a little bit, what we know. Mike Florio had a report, so we'll play that for you. Last night at Benchmark International Arena, one of the greatest saves, one of the greatest overtime moments I've ever seen. And we're gonna try to break this down in many ways. The save that VASY made last night. My groin still hurts watching it. On the postgame show last night, I'm trying to explain what's going on or how the hell he did this with Chief and Brian Engblom looking at me like I'm a complete moron. Like, and Engblom's like, no, I've seen you in the gym. There's absolutely no way you can do that. I don't know how a human did it. So we're going to break that down as well. What a finish to that game last night. Boy, that was insane. The latest in the Lane Kiffin rumors going on. Yeah.
It's getting out of control.
It is. And I am bursting at the seams with some information that I cannot and will not divulge.
Now, see, you could have just not said anything, but you had to go with, I know everything and y'all don't know anything. You had to do that, didn't you?
I know. I'm sorry, but I just
couldn't help.
I don't know how it's going to turn out, but there's an outcome that will shock the world. I'm just going to say that.
He's going to retire.
No.
Okay. So,
but it might be somewhere where nobody is talking about.
Oh, I know where. Okay. I already know. I won't say it either. I have no idea. I just had to pretend like I knew something.
Yes. He's gonna flip flop with Alex Golish. All right, there, I gave it out.
All righty then. Although I have seen an unusual,
that would rock the world. Rock the world.
I have seen an unusual amount of AI generated photos on social media showing Lane Kiffin in Oklahoma State coaching garb and a visor and a mullet.
Yeah, that.
I've seen a lot of those.
Well, that would look good. Yeah, we are in for one hell of a coaching musical chairs, man. I am here for it. And with everything, and we all got to wait to see what Lane's going to do. And I've never seen a coach on the not hot seat, but in the crosshairs of all these different jobs go on more television shows. Oh, Lord. I mean, the dude is just everywhere, and I love it. I think he's fantastic. I really do. I just love every minute of it.
See, you and I are on different sides of the Lane Kiffin thing, but you know him. I don't know him. I've never spoken.
I don't know him that well. I know I've known the family for a long time.
I have always just thought he seemed like a douchebag, like just like a total jerk, right?
He was. And he'll tell you that.
And
he'll tell you that I was a jerk. And listen, having gone through this myself, having been a jerk at one time.
I mean, we all are still probably.
No. Well, we all are. So at one point or another. Yeah.
Yeah.
And certainly in the perceptions of other people, whatever it is. No. And it's, if you're in public life at all, even my minuscule little bit that I have had over the years, you're going to get a lot of people that just, they catch you at a bad time or what. But Lane has a long and distinguished resume of really embarrassing bad moves.
Yeah.
And the way that he treated people and things throughout. And, being a wonder kid, coming up in those, being the youngest NFL coach ever hired, going into these huge pressure cooker jobs like Tennessee and USC at a very, very young and immature age. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I'm just, I'm a pretty compassionate person. And because I've made so many mistakes in my life and sinned and far from perfection, I am very gracious to grant forgiveness to a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. We are all human, man. We are all human, and we succumb to a lot of different temptations and do stupid things that we regret. And he regrets a lot of it. And if you've kind of watched his journey and the documentary, I think it's very, very interesting and it's a road of self-discovery and change, and you can become a totally different person. And I think to some degree, to a very big degree, he has. And part of that is finding peace in meditation and religion and other things that at one point of your life you probably thought were silly, but when you learn more about it and talk to more people and get counsel and be mentored, you change. And the people that don't change, I think, are the ones that are the saddest. The people that do change, I have tremendous respect for because it's not easy.
Well, and it comes with age, right? And Lane Kiffin,
of course,
in his 50s.
Wisdom.
I mean, I'm not the same douchebag I was in my 20s. I'm an entirely different kind of douchebag now that I'm approaching 55 years old.
I would agree with that. In the limited time I've known you, you've become a much better douchebag in the last 4 years.
But JP, I have audio that we're going to play today on the show.
Yes,
that might indicate Lane Kiffin, at least for a moment in time, while speaking to reporters via the weekly Zoom call, might have reverted back to his previous douchedom. I can't wait to play this and get your take on it.
Oh, I don't know if it's you or me, but you just lagged there, and I missed the crescendo of what you said.
I think it's you. So I have audio, JP, that is taken from his weekly Pool Media Zoom call, right, with reporters, including the local Oxford reporters,
right?
That might indicate that he's returned to his previous douchedom, at least for the moment. And I can't wait to play it.
Okay,
and I need your take on it when we get there, because it's it's a sketchy situation that he's involved in, right? With are you going to leave or are you going to stay? And you can only answer that question so many times. I get it. I feel like he hasn't at least publicly addressed that with anybody. And for the reporters to keep asking the question, I think is fair, right? And until you deny or just say, look, guys, I don't want to talk about this right now. Let's talk about this week's game. That's the appropriate response.
Yeah.
That he never gave.
So. Listen, I've been through a billion of these, as have you, Timmy. Oh, and I'm here to tell you, there's no right way to do it. Somebody's going to be pissed off. Either the place the place that you're rumored to go to, or the place that you're leaving, or the place that you might go. You're going to make a lot of enemies in this process. That's just the way it is. Reporters, public, all that. I don't know if there's a good way to do this, because you're at the same time you're trying to coach a team into the playoffs, which takes every ounce of your focus and energy, especially in this day and age, having to deal with life-changing decisions. I mean, life-changing decisions, not just for you, but for your entire family. These are, I really commiserate with a lot of these coaches. Like, I have no idea what Alex Skolish is going through right now.
Yeah.
You've given 3 years of your life to these kids and promised them everything and asked for their loyalty and just they blood, sweat, and tears, all that stuff. And you've looked them in the eye and you said, I'm going to be here and we're going to make some of them. We're going to do this and I'm all in, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to weigh that with, okay, this is generational wealth for your family and your family's family.
Yeah.
With these buyouts, right? And it only comes along. The landscape is littered with coaches that didn't take the opportunity when they were hot and just went into mediocrity and didn't get that big paycheck. That is generational income. That secures your family for a lifetime. That's not, who are you going to be loyal to? Your family or your players and your institution? And you can't build an institution without promising your players all these things along the way. You can't. And he's done that. So I'm not saying anything bad about Alex Skolish right now. I'm saying this is what these guys have to deal with. It doesn't make them insincere at all. It doesn't make them they're not lying. This is not some type of, a psyop that they're running on these kids. This is true. But we all know that's the business. And opportunities come. And these must be fucking gut-wrenching decisions to leave your players. But, man, sometimes you got to go. He's making $2.5 million at USF. They'll probably bump that up significantly. But you can't compete with 9, 10, 8, 7, wherever it's going to go. Look at Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen. He's making $12 million. The Jacksonville Jaguars just paid him $12 million guaranteed for 5 years. He wanted to stay. But, okay. Who figured he would get that? Nobody. That's why I said he wasn't effing leaving. But he's going to give you can't say no to that, no matter how much loyalty that and that's a bad kind of example because he wasn't here very long.
Right.
But for Lane, yeah, you've asked all these kids to buy in and Alex and all this, and now it's like, see ya. But again, it's not anything insincere on their part. It's just part of the business, and it sucks for the players, for the coaches. Tough problem to have. Yeah. What's interesting is there are a lot of things that we're going to talk about today that have to do with life and how it intersects with sports. And, these are conversations that we don't have all the time on this show. We have them a lot because we delve into this. I like talking about the human side of sports. The human side of the stories, to me, are what makes sports great. I love the Olympic, stories that they tell before you see these athletes go out and, put their entire life's training on the line for a 30-second, run or whatever it is.
Right.
It's just the stories are what makes the sports to me. It's the human side. And we're going to deal with a lot of that today. And for these coaches, it's gut-wrenching. And I have compassion for them. We all want to joke about Lane and where is he going? This guy don't care. And they care. Man, they effing care. And it's got to be gut-wrenching. But here we are. And it's big freaking money, and it's high stakes. And you look at Lane Kiffin, and here's something really interesting. All of a sudden, The Athletic coming out with 2 pieces. Matt Baker wrote a piece about all the transgressions of Lane Kiffin over the year. It's almost like draft day when, all you start getting negative information on some of these players because other teams want them to fall in the draft to them so they can take them. And I'm wondering how much this negative PR on Lane, which, by the way, everybody knows these stories, and anybody who's hiring him certainly knows these stories.
Yeah.
So why is this all coming out now? And is it some PR campaign by, LSU or Florida or somebody else to suddenly make him, because it's not just there's athletic directors. I'm sure Scott Strickland and the governor of Louisiana who's making the decision at LSU. I'm sure these people are, now there's probably a ton of people coming at them and boosters like, hey, I didn't know this about Lane, we better be careful here. We better be, now you got everybody's nose in it, and, we better be careful. That's coming through the woodwork, and, it's fascinating.
You want the truth? I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why all these stories are coming out of the woodwork right now, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Lane Kiffin. I've been in digital media since we had digital media, JP.
Yes.
It is because Lane Kiffin is in the news.
Yep.
His name is at the top of Google search.
Yep.
And all of these digital media outlets, such as The Athletic, Bleacher Report, Pro Football Talk. Yep. Yes, Mike Florio does this too. They go for the hot stories. And right now, if I go out for FanStream Sports and start writing a bunch of stories with Lane Kiffin's name in the headline,
yep,
we're going to get a shit ton of clicks. That's the way the business works. Has nothing. Then that's why the timing is what it is. Has nothing to do with something new has happened. It has nothing to do with, well, now we consider this worse now because he's trying to get a job and maybe LSU and Florida are looking at him under a microscope. Has nothing. They're not. They already know everything about him they need to know. All it is these media outlets. And look, I'm not faulting him for it. That's the business we're in. All it is these media outlets saying, man, we need to get some clicks on this. We need to take advantage of this news cycle, put his name out there, and let's write some stories. All of this stuff that's being reported right now by The Athletic and everybody else has already been reported. We already know all of this. It's not new. It's just news.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. But there also seems to be interesting that those negative stories are coming out at this particular time. Yeah. That just seems really interesting to me. All right. Well, let's go ahead and, while we're on the subject, you want to play that audio on Lane? Go ahead.
Oh, I do. So yeah, this was Lane Kiffin's weekly news presser that they do. For those that don't know, the coaches, NFL, college, everybody does these Zoom calls, and media members that cover the team regularly that are credentialed by the team get the Zoom link. They log in, and everybody gets to talk to Lane Kiffin. So of course, these local Oxford guys are wanting a scoop. So they're going to ask Lane about, hey, where are you going? Now I will admit, now think about the people that cover in Oxford that cover the team right now. These are young kids. They probably go to the pro, they're with the school. They go to the university. These are not experienced journalists asking these questions. And I will admit, these are the dumbest questions I have ever heard anybody ask the way they were phrased. All right. The topic is relevant. The way the questions are asked have to be like, this guy probably should not be in journalism school if this is all he knows at this point. But this is Lane Kiffin during the press conference, and he right off the bat. Now I'm about halfway through. It's a 7-minute interview or situation here. We're probably about 3 minutes in, and he's already been asked to update everybody on his current situation. That's how it was phrased. Mm-hmm. He has yet to say, guys, I don't want to talk about it. All he's saying is that, hey, we got a game this week. And I'm looking forward to the game we have this week. So he's not disputing anything. So now this young, probably 19-year-old kid comes in and he approaches it like this.
Do you expect to coach next week as you're preparing for this game?
You know something I don't know?
I'm asking you.
Do I expect to coach next week? Why would I not expect to coach next week? I mean, I expected to coach against Florida too. So I don't even understand the question how I would not expect to coach next week. Why would I be at work?
No. Fair enough. No, fair enough. Is there any reason you wouldn't see yourself, any situation in which you wouldn't think you'd be coaching this team moving forward beyond next week?
No, I don't. I mean, we're game planning. We just practice. I don't even understand how that would happen. So,
okay,
must be missing something.
Fair enough.
So, look, he clearly understands the meaning of the question. Lane Kiffin, and he probably knows this reporter, right? He's probably dealt with him all year, and he probably thinks he's being funny. But to just sit there and act like you don't understand what he's asking to me.
Well, no, I think the question is ambiguous. Do you expect to coach next week? I mean, like, is that like I'm leaving so I won't coach the team? I'm going to go to my new job in the middle of a playoff run? It's a stupid effing question.
It is a stupid question.
And it's 100%. A stupid way to phrase it, by the way. It's a very, to your point, a very immature. So I think Lane's response is, I don't know what the hell you're asking here. If you want to ask something more specific, because especially at this moment, every word counts. Every word counts. And with Lane, he hasn't come out and said, hey, I'm staying. Right. I'm not talking to, he's always danced around the question many, many times. It's all about, it's very nice and flattering that everybody's coming in. It means we're doing a good job. Same thing Alex Golich says.
Yeah.
It's a good response, but it's never, no, I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere. He's never said that. No. And, to his credit, that's that's being honest. That's about as honest as you could be. Again, there's no good ways to do this. And listen, Florida, we had the report yesterday that Dan Mullen's house that's been on the market for eight months sold for $3 million in Gainesville. Who bought the house? I don't know. There's no public listing, but that's a little bit of smoke. That's a little bit of smoke. If you were going to take that job, you'd be looking for, and there ain't many $3 million homes in the Gainesville area. You know what I'm saying? So, and there ain't many people that want to spend that much money to buy a $3 million home in Gainesville. It's a very select group of people, right? So who knows? And we'll find, and that's the whole thing. We're not going to find out until after the playoffs, and the longer Ole Miss goes, the better. Yeah. For Lane, and the price just goes up. When you start talking about all the different, what we're dealing here with Jimmy Sexton. So, and I will just say that I know it seems like it's just LSU and it's just Florida. It's not. Yeah. It's not. So there are a lot of people that are reaching out to Lane Kiffin. So if there's going there could, and I don't think he's made a decision yet. I don't think he has, and I'm not sure he will until he's ready to.
See, right, I think he might already know what he's doing.
All right, so we got to, I guess, to stay on the Lane Kiffin thing. You have some Stephen A. Smith audio here, right? And by the way, this is, we don't go hyper local, and there's a ton of Gator fans, obviously, in Tampa Bay. And we got Scott Carter coming on a little bit later on to talk about the game with Tennessee. But so this is all Gator related. Yeah. So this is something that I mentioned last week about Ole Miss, and everybody was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I've been around a long time, so I know what I'm talking about. And this is interesting. So now Stephen A. Smith has brought it into the national discussion. So let's listen to him.
What? Oh, stop it. Just stop it. Leave that man alone. Y'all leave Lane Kiffin alone. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this to this man, okay? Yeah, listen, you and I, look, I'm going to bring it home, all right? He's in Oxford, Mississippi, okay? Let's get this out the way. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say, somebody, y'all can't say it. Don't you dare say it, Paul. Don't you dare say it, Dougie. Don't you say it, Shay. Leave it to me. I'll say it. The brothers ain't trying to come to Oxford, Mississippi, for the most part.
The brothers ain't trying to come
compared to Gainesville or Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let's just call it what it is, okay? You look at the job that Lane Kiffin has done at Ole Miss, it's phenomenal. The man has won 74% of his games over the last 6 years. Ole Miss is they're in the picture. They could win a national championship. Lane Kiffin, his personality, his cachet, it ain't Nick Saban he got to work with. He's got the potential to be another Nick Saban, but it ain't going to happen at Ole Miss. Not for years down the road to come. No. But Gainesville? At the University of Florida, but Baton Rouge, at Death Valley, LSU, that's a different animal. I'm not saying that you don't have black players and stuff like that on the team. Of course you do. Just showed it with Pat McAfee's show. We understand it. But I'm just talking about from a recruiting standpoint, in terms of longevity, establishing a sustained level of success for many, many years.
Okay, look, first of all, I have to address this. What in the world is ESPN doing in the middle of a Stephen A. rant that's going to go viral? Start to show highlights on the screen with music playing behind it. That is the stupidest producer's decision I've ever seen in my life. Number one.
It's what we do now. We have to do it because of the attention span of the kids watching. We have to stimulate them every 8 seconds.
Number
we
two,
can't listen to a man, bloviate on something. And listen, that's why you pay him $17 billion.
The highest paid personality at ESPN, and that's what he comes up with.
All of our people are screaming to turn him off.
Is this 1890? Is it 1930?
I apologize for playing Stephen A. Smith, but we did it for a reason. And it is, and I think it's something I brought up, and it's the fact that negative recruiting goes on all the time about Ole Miss, about its legacy of the Rebels and Rebel Yell and the General and their mascot and all this stuff over the years that is tied to racism. And
I can remember, flag. And you can remember when their fans used to bring Confederate flags to the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wave Confederate flags at the game.
Yeah. They don't do that anymore.
Long ago.
No, but they don't do that anymore. But other teams are always doing that in negative recruiting for the black players. 100%. It happens and it hurts their recruiting. And you can't, and in the society we live in, it's only, going to get worse. If your opponent can race bait you into, getting a commitment or flipping a commitment, they'll do it in a heartbeat. They don't care. They want the player. So he's right. It's going to be easier to win national championships at LSU and University of Florida. There's no question about that. And I think that would be one of the main reasons Lane would leave. If your goal is to win a national championship, you cannot make the argument that you can do it just as easily at Ole Miss as you can at UF and LSU. That's not true. And the results are in the national championships that they share. Ole Miss, I think they won one national championship back in the 50s or something with Billy Cannon.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or no, that was LSU. Whatever.
Really.
Yeah. I don't know, but they haven't been in the mix, and Lane's done a great job putting them in the mix. So we'll see where he goes. And the University of Florida is waiting with bated breath to find out, as is Ole Miss. And there's a story out there that he was given an ultimatum. If Ole Miss is that stupid, so be it. But they shouldn't be doing that.
By the way, Ole Miss, for the class of 2025 recruiting, they were number 16 in the country in recruiting for this cycle,
which is not bad. But
nope.
You know what? It's not top 5.
Nope.
When Urban was at Florida, when Spurrier was at Florida, they were top 5 in recruiting, and they won national championships. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't happen at Ole Miss. And by the way, it's the Jimmies and Joes, not the X's and O's when you get down to that.
And by the way, going back into Lane Kiffin's tenure there over 6 years, it looks like right around 16, 17, 18 is where they finish every single year in recruiting. Mm-hmm. They're never top 10. They're never top 15. They're always 15 to,
and I don't want to say never will be, but no. Again, history guides us. Precedent matters. So do I think he's staying? And the renaissance that he's been on, that personal journey, kind of leads to me to believe that there's a possibility. But as the longer this goes on, the more I say, more I see, I think he's leaving. So
the year before Lane Kiffin got there, they ranked 32nd. His first year there in 2019, they were 17th.
Yeah. And that's about as high as they're going to go. And it's hard to win a national championship with that, even in the transfer portal. All right. Well, we didn't get to Bucky or VASY in the first, but we will get to it in this next segment. So I apologize. We got to hit a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Scott Carter's going to join us at 11 o'clock. We'll get the update from Gainesville on all real estate transactions that are going down. Scott will be on top of. And as by the way, they get a big game against Tennessee coming up this weekend as well. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Just send them an email. They'll give you a free case evaluation at JeevesLawGroup.com. Not attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. And great folks at Genesis of Tampa, Mike Murphy and the gang were over at Metropolitan Ministries yesterday, donating 90 turkeys for folks to have a turkey dinner this Thanksgiving that can't afford it. So the Genesis of Tampa, they're new in the area. The Murphy Auto Group is not. They were born here many, many decades ago. But the new Genesis of Tampa is jumping into the community like no other in the area, and they are making a difference with their hurricane relief. And now 90 frozen turkeys going to some families. Great job by the folks at Genesis of Tampa. And they sell great cars, by the way. Great cars, great value, great lease deals. You got to go do a test drive just to see the value, the technology, the comfort, the luxury of the Genesis make. It is absolutely tremendous. GenesisofTampa.com. All right, back in 3. See you. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on. Scott Carter will be joining us for FloridaGators.com at 11 o'clock. We want to thank our great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Get that insurance checkup right now, folks. They could save you thousands of dollars. They do all the work. You save all the money. And the Gold and Diamond Source. Come visit the wonderland of jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source. I love that, the wonderland. It is a wonderland, too. You walk in that place, man, it is bling, 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 and it's cool. I love it. And they're so welcoming when you jump in there, and they're not going to try to oversell you something. You got a budget for a ring. They'll adhere to that and say, this is what we got, and show you some great stuff. If you're a first-time jewelry buyer, you'll feel very, very comfortable there. If you're looking for some museum quality pieces, they have all the information, very experienced in that. Well, it's a comfortable, relaxed atmosphere. And we always say this, it is a great local company, and we want you to shop local for this Christmas. Yeah, I know Amazon is easy. It's great, right? Yeah, but half the time you don't know what you're getting for real, especially when it comes to jewelry. go somewhere where you can touch it, feel it, see it, and it's a trusted source, and that is the Gold and Diamond Source. They do great work in the local area. Obviously, Julie with their Hands Across the Bay charity that has done so much for abused women. So that's why we love the Gold and Diamond Source. Go check it out, goldanddiamond.com, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at the Gold and Diamond Source.
JP, when you were talking about the Turkeys and Murphy Auto Group and their charitable efforts, it took my brain back to maybe one of the greatest moments in all of television history. When Gordon Jump, portraying the general manager of WKRP in Cincinnati, proclaimed, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly."
Yeah, that was a good one.
So great.
God, KRP. I need to go watch some of those old reruns. Binge that for a little while.
Made me want to get into radio. I'll be honest.
Yeah, maybe for me. Ashley, have you ever seen the show? The gratuitous cleavage of Lonnie Anderson, fabulous.
And I was always a Bailey Quarters guy.
I know you would be. Yeah. All right, so let's get into a little bit of this Bucky stuff, and then we'll go to VASY in the save last night. So Bucky Irving, according to multiple reports, and that's Rick Stroud did a story on this morning in the Times, and I've got some texts out to find out, but it's obviously that Bucky is dealing with some mental issues, some emotional issues. It's not just his shoulder and his ankle. Obviously, he's back at practice now, and evidently, this is the first time he's ever been injured and had to be away from his teammates and not play. Now, you got to go back to his history, and it is one of tragedy. His grandmother, Darlene Irving, died the same day the University of Minnesota offered him a football scholarship. He grew up on the south side of Chicago with 13 aunts, uncles, and cousins. And he was a legend. He was a playground legend in South Chicago, but grew up in incredible poverty. His father died when he was 2. His father, who gave him the name Bucky. Then his grandmother passed away. Then his younger brother, in March of 22, Irving, 15 years old, Jojo Raybon, was shot to death near him in his home in Hazel Crest, Illinois. I mean, this dude has been through it. And there's something that you notice about Bucky. When I first met him and first started interviewing him, and I don't know him on a personal level, but instantly you could tell this is a different cat. This is a different cat. He's, I expected this kind of fun-loving, kind of, knuckleheadish, just, kind of immature kid, to be quite honest. Anything but. He was anything but. He's very thoughtful. He's very intelligent, very emotional. You can see it in his answers. You can see it in the way that he plays football. You can see it in the way that he reacts with his teammates. And I can tell you from personal experience, when your home life crumbles, you turn to something that is stable and defines you. And for me, that was always sports. I went to a practice every day after school. I didn't want to come home. And when things like this happen in your life, sports becomes your family. It becomes your entire support system. It defines you in a lot of different ways. And so when that is taken away and you're not being fed that, it's almost like family members dying. And I can understand in this situation that it's really hard for him because most of his self-worth is probably caught up in providing the joy and the game-winning plays for his teammates. And that's why he is so beloved. Now, he's also beloved for the person that he is. And the whole fact that he has developed this incredible relationship with 87-year-old Tom Moore, where they come in and they talk every morning at 5:30. What 22-year-old kid is doing that?
That should tell you all you need to know is because of his friendship with Tom Moore, what
exactly
kind of maturity level this guy's at.
Yeah. So this is a different type of cat. And I mean in a good way. Mm-hmm. I mean in a very good way. But it's also got to be really, when you're emotional and you're thoughtful and you're uber intelligent as he is, you don't think just on the surface. You think on a lot of different levels. And I'm sure that this is really messing with him. And given, what's happened with Marshawn Nealon recently, and you would, and I'm not saying this is what's going on. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But what we do know is there's a lot of people walking around out there that look like they're the happiest people in the world and they're struggling, which is why being kind to people on a daily basis is really important. And it doesn't cost anything to be kind, by the way, and it'll make your day better. It costs a lot when you're not only for you, but for the people that you're not kind to. So and this is a very touchy subject, and it's interesting. And it's not, you can't list it on the injury list. They don't have a column for that. Knee, shoulder, emotional.
No, a lot of times when guys are dealing with stuff, they'll put just if they have to miss practice for a day because of, you'll just say personal. Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting. We're trying to remove the stigma of mental health issues. We're trying to, kind of pull the curtain back a little bit, but they're also deeply personal things that people have a hard time talking about it. And we need to be better about that. The stigma needs to go away. If you're dealing with something emotionally, seek it out. Somebody in our comments yesterday, I think, said, I saw Bucky Irving walking on the Riverwalk, maybe walking alone. He's been around the facility. He's practicing, so that's good. He's not isolating himself. But, nobody knows what happens when he goes home. I don't know who he lives with. I don't know if he has a support system here. Maybe he's missing his family and the family his support system that he had in Oregon. It's great that Tez is here, obviously, one of his best friends. So the answer now to is Bucky, when is Bucky coming back, is when he's ready.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It's probably missing those morning conversations with Tom.
I hope he's still doing them. And I would think he is. I hope he's still doing them, because that seems to be like something that really connects him. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's important. It's important. So, I know it's frustrating for fans because he's such an important part of this team. And it's going to be, on his time. And all we can do is support him. And hopefully he comes back and does Bucky things, because he is an absolute delight. He is an absolute delight to talk to. He's a delight to watch. And we just need to shower him with love and support, and whatever, he needs to do, And the other part about this is the pressure. There is so much pressure on these players because of social media, because of the notoriety. And I think we kind of take it for granted that guys should just be able to go out and play. It's hard. It's really, really hard. So we wish him the best. I don't know how much information we're going to get from Todd Bowles, frankly. Probably not. We haven't gotten any so far. It's always, when we ask about Bucky, it's about, oh, he's getting better. He's getting better. It's, it hasn't. And it's tough for him. How much personal information do you want to put out there? So do we have the Florio thing?
Oh, did you send me that?
Yeah, I did. Well, don't worry about it. It's basically Mike Florio talking about Bucky's not going to be back for a while. Now, Rick Stroud said that they think he's going to be back soon, the people that he's talking to. And obviously Rick Stroud's a much better source than Mike Florio.
Right.
But Mike, basically said that he's heard some things and it's personal and he can't really talk about it, but he doesn't think Bucky's going to be back for a while. But again, I would much more lean on Rick Stroud's reporting than Mike Florio's any day of the week, especially when it comes to the Buccaneers.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just pray for Bucky.
And look, this goes beyond football. And, of course the team misses Bucky Irving, but I can tell you, being here in Dallas and dealing with the Cowboys on a daily basis and what they just went through. And JP, you mentioned the Marshawn Nealon situation. That's nothing anybody wants to have to deal with. And so what Bucky's going through, if it is in fact what we're hearing and what what we're talking about right now with what's needing some emotional support. This goes way beyond football and way beyond anything that we can concern ourselves with beyond his mental health and his personal interests. That's what you want to hope for. You want to pray for. And really, all of these guys, you said this is a high pressure profession. Yeah, it is. And all of these guys are under pressure, but you get these young 21, 22-year-old kids that come right out of college and they're exposed to all of this. And especially somebody like Bucky, who found a tremendous amount of success very early on. And, one of the top guys on the team, and now he can't contribute. That'll mess with you, man, when you're that young. That'll mess with you. So let's just
absolutely
think the good thought for Bucky, and let's all hope that this thing gets itself worked out in the most positive of ways that we can think of.
Well said. We'll do a little bit more Bucks in the second hour. I want to get to the some of the comments here on Bucky, and then we'll get to what happened with the Lightning last night. This is from Greg DeCruz, said, I applaud the Bucs organization for keeping this in-house for as long as they were able to do. Absolutely. But that's a real conundrum, with a player like that, man, everybody wants to know when, and we got to have answers, and that's why I've tried to tell you guys, it gets frustrating listening to Todd, but that's the best that he can do. These injuries are not black and white. As this clearly shows. So when we expect him back in 3 weeks. Okay, if he doesn't come back, nobody's lying, nobody's screwing up. It's just, it is what it is. You don't think they want these players out there? Of course they do. So let's keep that in mind. Yeah. James says, I'm hoping all this is regarding Bucky is being injured for the first time. I'm sure the Buck organization has provided him with the support he needs. Absolutely. And I think that's what he's dealing with, because he really hasn't, I don't think he's ever been injured long-term like this. Yeah. Greg DeCruz says maybe there should be a column for non-injuries. They also should give the young man some privacy and hoping that they don't harass him as we're wont to do. Yeah, it's, there's a fine line between wanting a guy to come back and being frustrated that he can't and knowing what the issues are. Danny Boy says it's the golden rule, do unto others. Yeah, that's a really easy way to live by, folks. If you have one rule, that's it. Do unto others that you have them do to you. Kip Pyle says, nice Bucky family take and insight, JP. Appreciate it. Yeah. He comes from a background that most of us could never even dream the nightmares that this young man has been through. Yeah. And that's just the stuff we know, who live in South Chicago. Whew. Wow. James says, praying for Bucky. It makes sense based on what he's been through. Also never being injured, praying he gets through this. Absolutely. All right, we'll get to some other Buck stuff here in a little bit. Let's transition over to the Lightning last night. So Lightning, here comes Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, the Edmonton Oilers, and I'm like, they don't have a goalie with a less than 4 goals against. They're terrible. Picard was in last night at 4.17 goals against. They've been terrible on the road. They just got beat by Washington 7-3 back-to-back for them. They got in late, delayed because of the Crown Prince's party in Washington, D.C. was blocking all the roads. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a high-scoring game. Take the over and the Bolts. Okay, so 1-0 heading into the third. Oops. But it's kind of a weird game because the Edmonton came out flying, and for the first 8-9 minutes, they dominated the possession time. And VASY's just kicking everything out, and VASY has found himself. He is the last 3-4. I think the last 3 games I looked it up. His save percentage has been .959, .960, and .959. Is that good? I think that's pretty good.
24 saves last night. Yeah.
Hasn't allowed more than a goal. And he's rounded into form. So he was great all night. And offensively, the Bolts just couldn't, they just couldn't. First of all, they passed up so many freaking shots against Picard. I had these 2 guys behind me, but a couple beer league guys, the shoot the puck guy, every time somebody touches the puck. Yeah. But, they weren't that bad. But they were like, this bum. Who is this bum? He's a come on, he's a piñata. Shoot the puck. Gets a high volume. Let's go. Pepper this guy. And I'm like, yeah, pepper this guy. He's terrible. And they were passing up shots in the slot, passing up shots on the power play, and it was just, God, they get into these modes, and I'm like, what the? They got a 3-on-1, and Kucherov, right at the last moment tries to make a pass to Hagel, and you get no shot.
Yep.
And so, anyway, we get to 2.5 minutes left in the game, and Nick Paul and a couple other guys just bum rush the net, and he knocks one in, and we're tied. We're tied at 1 at 2:32 left. So we go to overtime, and let's play it. And this is
why I love overtime hockey, man. I love overtime hockey.
Watch this series of saves.
Darnell Nurse, save, rebound, freeze, another save. Two by Vasilevskiy. One on Hyman. One on Vasilevskiy. And here comes Radish. He's got to get to. What a game. What an ending. The Lightning win.
They just mob Vassy. So they get the 2-1 win in overtime.
JP, you've been watching hockey for a long time like I have. How many times, whether it's regulation, overtime, wherever, how many times does an insane save by your goalie immediately turn into at least a scoring chance at the other end? Right? Because you've got the other team who's kind of in disbelief that they didn't just score, and they may be off their thoughts here for a little bit off the game, and you just take it. The other team takes advantage of it in the offensive zone, and that's exactly what you saw there, man. It was a quick turnaround, and dude, like you said at the start of the show, my groin still hurts after watching that leg lift on that second save.
So this next angle, and I think this is the Mish call, which is fantastic as well. Watch Vassy, the first save, he's in butterfly, face down on butterfly. Okay. Now, if you guys want to try this at the gym today, you go ahead. Go butterfly. You can't even do that. And while you're on your stomach, try lifting your leg off the ground. Like, your leg doesn't do that. Like, it doesn't work that way unless you're freaking Andrei Vasilevskiy. And he somehow, as Roslovic comes in, he's like, oh, I got the whole net. I just need to lift it a little bit. He's down. So he goes to lift it, and out of nowhere, it's like this appendage comes up. He's like, whoop, sorry. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, what the? And the bench explodes. The Lightning bench explodes on the save. And then they go back the other way. Cooch with a perfect pass to the stick of Radish, and Radish waits right. And like a rocket, here comes Gensel. Well, he's on it. He's got a rocket in his ass. And Radish puts it right on his stick. And Picard, that bum, had no Pickard, whatever you want to call him. He had no chance. Game winner. Place goes nuts. Vassy gets mopped. But watch this angle. I think it's a better angle. You can see the double pad save here. And we'll get to the really good stuff
about here.
Yeah.
I'm having connectivity issues today myself.
Yeah, we're having lag issues here, which is
hang on. I'm going to rewind it.
Okay.
And he has the 2 OT winners. There's Nurse across the button. The step left circle.
This
Nurse. Shoot save made. Rebound loose in front.
Look at that.
Holy. Open net. Kucherov the other way. Right side Radish with Gensel across the line. Radish for Gensel. Score! Gensel! Oh! Jake Gensel wins it.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I've got it on my social if you want to go see it a little bit better. But
we're having big weather here in Dallas, thunderstorms and stuff, and it affects my internet here.
Everybody actually that's doing StreamYard shows across the nation, I've noticed have had a lot of issues with lag lately. So I think StreamYard needs to up their server potential or whatever the hell it is, because it's not working with guests and video. So hopefully we can get this taken care of soon. But the point is, bodies don't work that way. It just don't work that way. And Vassy's just been so good. But that save, it's unbelievable. So I'm the post-game show. I'm trying to act it out myself. Like, how do you do that when you're on your stomach and you're butterflied, split, and then you lift your leg? It's like, doesn't work that way. And Engblom's going, yeah, it doesn't work that way for you. I know. But none of us, I don't get it. So I come across this young lady who's a big Bolts fan on Twitter, and she's trying to do what I was trying to do, except she did it a lot better, and I think she explained it a lot better.
So this is Paris Jersey Girl is her X handle. And apparently lives in Clearwater, and she's a huge Bolts fan, according to her, what I was able to creep on her profile and on her account. Yeah. And she might be JP, my next, ex-wife number 4. If I can somehow finagle that, but let's see.
She's into it. I hope this plays and you get the gist of it. Oh God. Here we
leg out to get the second one, and then down like this goes. That's difficult to do, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're up. We're tracking the puck. We down. Did he go full butterfly? God,
yes, he went full butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go full butterfly, Jersey Girl.
Second kick out to get the second save, and at this point he's split. What am I doing?
What are you
He's
doing?
Split and out like this and goes. My foot won't even.
Exactly. Your foot doesn't do that. Your leg doesn't do that.
Oh my God, dude.
So what's funny, JP?
I suggest everyone tries to do that right now just to fully understand how incredible it was.
That's what I'm saying, Jersey Girl. Like, try to do that.
So, JP, what's funny is the post that she made before this was a meme that I guess she created or something, but she was like, look, when you attack VASY, you have to lift the puck. Like, she was insinuating the player that was trying to score didn't lift the puck.
Yeah,
and he just shot it, and VASY didn't. And then she went back and watched it, and she like added to that post. She's like, holy crap, he did lift the puck. Way to go, VASY. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah. I mean, Lord, that was incredible. He had the against the Kings about 4 or 5 years ago. He had a no-look backhand save. Forget who that was against. Kempe, maybe. I forget who it was, but it's just an unbelievable. I think that was the greatest VASY save I'd ever seen. This one, I think, because that's just a contortion that I'm not sure anybody can do, and I'm not sure how he did it, but holy shiz, that was amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. And then, at the other end, converting, and Gensel is on a freaking heater, hat trick, and then that last night, he's really, really good. So that was a huge win for the Lightning last night over Edmonton, who's not been great. But, when Connor McDavid's in the house and Draisaitl, and McDavid really wasn't much of a factor last night. And remember, no McDonough, no Hedman. We had the great Santini and Carlisle, the Syracuse kids up. Well, they're not kids, but they came up. They played really, really well. We defended really, really well all night, except for the one goal, which was given up in the first minute 30, where Lilleberg gives up the puck, gives it right to Draisaitl, who feeds Frederick right in the slot, and VASY really had no chance on that one. But everything else, they really locked it down. I think they only allowed 4 shots in the third. Outshot them 14-4, and they really locked it down. And Cooper said after the game he loved their game and how it got better as the night went on. So, it wasn't a high-scoring affair, which I thought it would be, but that's a nice win for the Lightning because if you can't score, you got to beat them the other way. And against a team like Edmonton, to hold them to 1 goal and nothing for 58 minutes is pretty damn good. And to win it like that, that's a shot in the arm. That was just freaking great. And for all you Lightning fans, as I walked through the arena last night, Benchmark International Arena, it was about 10 minutes to go. Leaving the arena, what are we doing? And you got what you deserve. You got what you deserve as they were leaving. I go, I hope you're getting another beer and not leaving. And they laughed. And I'm like, okay, I see you. I see you people. Yeah, because then I was sitting right above VASY with some friends of mine. And everybody just like on the save, the whole place went, oh, everybody's standing and then they go the other way and they win it. And it's just the roof blows off. So, yeah, what a night. What a really, really fun win. And now they've won what? I think that's 11 of 14 now. 11 of 14.
Man, you needed that too.
Yeah, and that's without most of their regulars. Although Nick Paul came back last night, got that equalizing goal, which was big for him. So good on you, boys. Good on you. All right, we'll take a break. We're going to come back on the other side. Scott Carter's going to join us on the phone, Timmy, if you could give him a call in the break. And so we'll chat with him about what's going on with Florida in terms of the Lane watch. We'll get the real estate report from Scott as well. And we'll talk all things Gator, Tennessee. So quick break. We're back to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have a HVAC issue, and you need a new unit, you got to go with Third Generation Plumbing and the great folks at American Standard as well. American Standard Heating and Cooling have the best units, the most reliable units, the most durable units, the most efficient units, and Third Generation Plumbing is the company you want to install it. They have great reputation in the area. They will give you fair prices, great service, and be there when you need them to be in an emergency situation. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com and American Standard Heating and Cooling, a dynamic duo for your HVAC needs. Back in 3. Stay with us. It's the holiday season, so come visit the wonderland of jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source with over 25 times the inventory and selection of the average jewelry store. Guys, get your shopping done early, and if you have no idea of the trends and styles that your lady wants, that's cool. The incredible staff led by Julie and Steve Weintraub and family will offer up some great ideas with no pressure. They offer everything for the first-time jewelry buyer to the most exquisite selection of museum-quality pieces. Enjoy a comfortable, relaxed atmosphere and experienced staff, geologists, jewelers, and designers for all your jewelry needs. From the luxurious jewelry boxes to their VIP customer care, there's many reasons to make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond. Keep it local this holiday season. Shop online anytime at goldendiamond.com or just come by their showroom at 3800 Overton Road and always online at goldendiamond.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the J.P. Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes. we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. You just heard from Paulo right there. Get your reservation this weekend and go enjoy some of that fantastic traditional Italian food and all that frou-frou new Italian stuff. It's the good stuff, the lasagna, the chicken. Some of the – I'm just getting crazy thinking about the lasagna right now and the veal parmesan.
Oh, God, the veal's amazing.
The veal scallopini. Oh, so good. Head on over to Cafe Paradiso, folks. Have a nice glass of wine with Paulo. Have a great weekend. All right, let's welcome in our good friend from FloridaGators.com. He is Scott Carter, knowing all things that are going on in Gainesville, including real estate, I understand. Scott, can you give us an update on the housing market in Gainesville?
Yeah, there's been a lot of updates this week. Who knows? All I know is I haven't seen any official documents that Lane Kiffin has signed. So I know that's what Gator fans are hoping. But hey, man, we're getting into the weekend. It's still going to be a few more days probably before we know anything for sure. So there could be all kind of willings and dealings before then, guys.
So if you don't know, there was a report by Barstool, and someone actually walked up to me in the Chase Club the other night and showed it to me on Zillow. The Dan Mullen $3 million mansion that was on the market for 8 months just sold or went under contract. Yeah. So everybody says, oh, well then, who else would buy a $3 million home in Gainesville, right? And any ideas?
I don't. I think I can confirm. I don't think it's Lane Kiffin, and I can confirm for sure that it was not Scott Carter. So,
yes, or JP Peterson. Both of our loan applications were denied. Insufficient funds, to be sure.
I look back. We should have both gone into coaching, guys. I mean,
that's for damn sure,
right?
So, Scotty, what can you tell us about the coaching search? What's the word going on in Gainesville? Anything that's actually usable, or we all just trying to break down what Lane says at every press conference?
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. Obviously, Lane Kiffin is a target of Florida. I think there's still a good chance that it can happen. But, when you're dealing with Lane Kiffin, I think history has proven that it's never a straight line. There's always these curves and valleys and peaks. And I think, with this timetable of the college football calendar, these things are crazier than ever before. And when you have a good team like Lane Kiffin, and I'm sure he wants to finish it out up there if he is going to make a move. But then you have Ole Miss. I understand where they're coming from. They would like to get an answer from their coach. And then, of course, you got Florida, LSU, and other schools of interest or maybe other teams. So there's a lot of parties involved, guys. And I don't think anybody knows exactly what is going to happen right now. I'm not even sure Lane Kiffin knows exactly how this is going to play
I would
out.
agree with that. I don't think he's made a decision. And, and I talked about this at the top, Scott. Maybe you can add on to this. Everybody taking shots at Lane. Everybody wants to take shots at Alex Golish, and everybody, and I said, this has got to be gut-wrenching for these coaches who pour everything into their players and ask for their loyalty and give them loyalty in return until these things happen. And it's just part of the gig. And I think it's unfair to criticize these coaches for, quote, not handling it right, not answering questions the right way. What is the right way in this situation? I don't think there is. It's just a crappy catch-22.
Yeah, the system is just structured like this where it creates these events, if you will. Yeah. I mean, I can't blame Lane Kiffin for not. I'm looking at Florida. I'm interested in LSU, but right now I'm trying to finish home. I mean, it's just not what you're going to say. So they're really put in no-win situation. Yeah. And of course, the speculation bubbles. I mean, when we live in a immediate, 24/7 society where everybody wants answers right away, and this just doesn't lend itself to that kind of clarity. And basically, what we do know is, yes, Florida is interested in Lane Kiffin. We know that. We know that if he wants to be the Gators coach next year, I think he can be. But again, I don't know. Is it what LSU's playing? I don't know. Is the NFL calling? I don't know if Lane is, reevaluating all this and saying, you know what, I do have a pretty good situation here at Ole Miss. I'll leave. So there are a lot of moving parts, and all I know, guys, is it's pretty good to be Lane Kiffin right now because he's going to be fine whatever he decides, and he's the one guy in all this I think who does appear to be having a little fun with it with the social media.
Yeah,
but,
indeed.
And you know what? If I was in his shoes, I'd be the same way. I'd have a little fun with it because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to make a decision right now, and he's obviously unless Ole Miss does something drastic, which shocks me. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Is there a second choice in Gainesville? Like, if Lane doesn't come, what's the answer?
Well, I mean, Scott Strickland obviously is keeping this pretty close to the vest.
Yeah.
We know that the name that has been most mentioned is perhaps Eli Drinkwitz, but I've heard that maybe has cooled off. You saw the reports about John Sumrall this week, and then Sumrall, the Tulane coach, backpedaled to, hey, this isn't true. So there again, there's some nebulous just going on around that whole situation. Yeah. Lincoln Raleigh, Kenny Dillingham, Jen Fish. I mean, I'm just throwing names out there that we all know at this point. But if you were asking me, do I know if there's a clear number 2 behind Lane Kiffin right now? I don't know who that really is, and I don't. Maybe Scott Strickland does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but I'm sure he's doing his diligence. And but again, I think at this point, it's been all pointing to Lane Kiffin for 2 or 3 weeks now. And it is going to be interesting to see what happens, because if it's not Lane Kiffin at Florida, then what is the plan B? We'll see.
Exactly. Scott, there's been a name that's been curiously absent from the head coaching talk in college football. And I'm not that close to the situation. I'm sure you're not either, but I'm not hearing the name Mike Gundy floated around by anybody as a candidate for any of these programs. And, again, I'm not an Oklahoma State fan or anything, but of course I'm familiar with his work after he was there for 50 years or, 20 years, whatever it was. And is it odd to you, or have you heard his name anywhere associated with any of these programs that are looking?
No, that's a good point. I really haven't. And, obviously Gundy's tenure at Oklahoma State was full of a different kind of controversies, but in the end, I mean, he had a good record there. He won at a program and built some success, although it obviously didn't work out in his final season. They cut ways there. But he's a guy that, he's a little bit like Lane Kiffin in that if you hire Mike Gundy, you're going to get you're almost going to get an alter ego there. Yeah. And that's going to scare some schools away. I think what's working in Kiffin's favor now is, I mean, he's been winning at a high level in the SEC for the last 3 years, and Mike Gundy has kind of tailed off. So I don't know if Mike Gundy is going to continue to coach or not. He'll probably, if he does, to me, maybe a mid-level or a power conference, lower division school sounds more likely.
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's jump into this game against Tennessee, 20th ranked Tennessee, who was in the conversation for the playoff until they lost to Oklahoma. They're coming to Florida in a late November game, which is weird because they usually play in September. And it's a great history and a great rivalry in this game. And it's the first game at in the Swamp for Billy Gonzalez, correct? That's their first home game since the switch. So talk me through the dynamics of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you start with is, like you said, it's a late November. We're not used to seeing this in time of year. It's a rivalry game, and the Gators have really struggled in those games under Billy Napier. Now with Billy Gonzalez getting a shot, they responded well in the loss to Georgia in his first game, but then the back-to-back road losses at Kentucky and Ole Miss, and it's the crowd's going to be into it. I expect Florida has 2 home games left, Tennessee and Florida State. You'd really like to see him get one, if nothing else, just for Billy Gonzalez, who's a good guy and well respected, not only at Florida but across college football. And Tennessee, you look at it on paper, guys. I mean, the thing that jumps out to me is Tennessee leads the SEC in offense, scoring offense, passing offense. The Gators are, near the bottom in some of those categories offensively, and defensively they're in the second half. So either they're going to have to slow down Tennessee's tempo, going to have to find ways to make some plays in the passing game, like they did at Ole Miss last week. But they only managed 103 yards in the second half at Ole Miss. They're leading 24-20. So they just got to avoid those offenses, those empty series that really has hurt this offense. And that starts with DJ Lagway. He's got to make some of those throws that he made at Ole Miss, do it in the second half too, and Florida could have pulled off one of the biggest upsets. But that's kind of where I see this game. I think for Florida, they just got to get something to feel good about themselves, and a win over Tennessee would help in a big way.
And it's been 10 games. Tennessee's lost 10 in a row in Gainesville. That streak goes back to even before Tim Tebow was on campus. It goes back a long time, but this could be the last annual game here because the SEC, of course, is changing their schedules up starting in 2026. Yeah. So while the rivalry will continue, we know that across the SEC, there's a lot of these annual games that aren't going to be annual anymore. So is there any added pressure on either one of these teams to win the last one there at the Swamp that we may see here for a couple of years?
Well, I think if you're Tennessee, more the pressure's on them because, as you just said, they've lost 10 in a row in Gainesville in the Swamp. And, I mean, if you look at it on paper, man, I mean, this is one that you would think, okay, we end this streak. Because if they lose, Josh Heupel's going to face his own critics up in Knoxville.
Yeah.
So it's a big chance for them to get that monkey off their back. And then just for Florida, at this point, they got nothing to lose. They're going to be at home. I think that will re-energize them. And hopefully they can come out there and get that win that the Gator fans want to see. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, Tennessee's a good team, and 7-3, they're still playing for a big bowl. So both teams have something to play for, obviously. But I look at more of the pressure being on the ball.
And it looks like that 7-3 record from Tennessee to me is a little deceiving. Those 3 losses are to 3 potential college football playoff teams in Oklahoma, Georgia, and Alabama. So this team seems like while they may be better than what their record indicates, they still have yet to show up for those big games, and I still think they're gettable.
Yeah, I like the Tennessee team. I like Joey Aguilar at quarterback. He's almost got 3,000 yards, 22 touchdown passes. Deshaun Bishop at running back. I mean, they've got a lot of talent. It's an offensive center program under Heupel. Their defense is ranked 15th in the league in total defense. So I do think Florida should have some big play opportunities there. But that's where Lagway has to come through and hit those balls. And we've seen him hit a couple last week, but it's just been inconsistent for Florida, and that's why they're 7 right now. But this is certainly an opportunity to kind of end the season going into that Florida State final game on a sweet note.
Yeah, both these quarterbacks have thrown interceptions. Lagway second in the nation with 14, and Aguilar's I think 4th in the nation with 10, but he's got a lot more yards and a lot more touchdowns. So, but I thought Lagway, it was interesting watching the game at Ole Miss, Scotty. I'm like, wow, they are going to get blown the F out. It was 14-0 early. I'm like, this is going to get ugly. And Man, they showed up. They showed up and tied the game, couldn't finish, but I thought that was a great response by this Gator team, which if there's one thing you could say about this team, they don't quit. I mean, Kentucky notwithstanding, that was a little bit ugly, but I think every other game they've been right there, right?
No, they have been, and that is, I think, you got to give some credit to the locker room and to the players for sticking in there. And, nobody wants to hear about moral victories. But this thing, I'm like you guys, I was watching the first two drives of that Ole Miss game, and they would go 3 and out, and Ole Miss scores both times. I'm starting to say, I got visions of 58-7 in my head or something. Yes. And then, they had that nice DJ hits that long pass to TJ Abrams, woke them up, they scored. Then, of course, Jaden Woods had the interception on the next series, and suddenly the Gators are up 14-10 and turned into a shootout there. At one point, it's 21-17. And then again, they just saw, you got to give Ole Miss some credit on their defensive adjustments. And Florida had no answers to stop Kewan Lacey. He ran for 224 yards. And that would have been with all the storylines and with the Kiffin drama, that would have been a monumental upset for the Gators if they were able to pull that off. But now they're back home, and, first time in over a month, guys, they played in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. And, it's a sold-out crowd, the 17th in a row for Florida. So the fans are like the players. They're hanging in it. And, if you somehow beat Florida State and Tennessee at the end of the year, finish 5-7, as crappy as it has been for the most part, that would make people feel a lot better. No matter who the next coach is. So they do have something to play for.
Totally agree. And recruiting as well. You're all constantly recruiting against Tennessee and Florida State. That matters. Absolutely, 100%. All right, Scotty, appreciate your time as always. Enjoy the game tomorrow, 7:30 night game. Tennessee's a 4-point favorite. Home dog, Florida. I like the Florida Gators in a home dog situation. We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Yeah.
I think people will be leaning that way, and I'll keep my eyes on the housing market and hopefully have an update.
All right. If you're looking for a home, Scott Carter in the Gainesville area, much experience with coaches coming in and out, high-priced homes, luxury homes. See Scott Carter. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
At Gator Scott to get your home in Gainesville.
By the way, JP, do you know the last Tennessee quarterback to win at the Swamp?
All right, stand by.
Phil Fulmer was the head coach. Who was the quarterback?
T. Martin.
Incorrect. Damn. Close. Should have given you.
Peyton?
No, I should have given you one of these.
Peyton Manning?
Nope. Might not get it. 2004.
2004.
2004.
2004. Tennessee quarterback. I give up.
The great Casey Clausen.
Casey Clausen. Wow. No, would not have gotten that one.
Blast from the past right there.
Yeah. RCLMX159 says Florida should get Lincoln Riley. He has a better resume than Lane Kiffin.
How does Lincoln Riley have a better resume than Lane Kiffin? I need you to explain yourself, because that might be the worst comment I have seen in years on a sports take. Lincoln Riley has a better record, better resume at destroying programs. I'll give you that.
Didn't he have some success at Oklahoma?
I don't know. Why do you think he left?
Because
this was not a Lane Kiffin situation. Do you think USC is a better job than Oklahoma?
I don't know.
There's no world that that's true.
Depending on the way, depending on what you're, he says 4 conference championships and 3 Heisman Trophy winners.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah.
That is, it's more than Lane.
Come on.
How many conference championships has Lane won?
Cares about Heisman Trophy winners on your staff. There were 3 in a row, by the way.
Well, when you're the quarterback coach and they're quarterbacks, yeah, that matters.
It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I don't give a crap about how many Heisman Trophy winners come out of your program.
What? Get out of here.
Why do you think, who cares about
matters?
You know who cares
think
about
that
those?
matters? That's that means you're recruiting, you're developing, and producing.
Winning. Just win.
4 conference championships. That's not winning.
Where did that get you? Who did you
4
lose
conference
to?
championships.
All right,
They're going to win the national championship every year.
If you're worried about conference championships,
that is objectively a better resume than Lane Kiffin. He is right.
Okay. You know what? You go hire Lane Kiffin or hire Lincoln Riley then and see where your program's at in 5 years. That's all I'm saying.
Now that's a different argument.
When Lincoln Riley is completely out of football because nobody.
Jamel Dean and Hassan Reddick Shoyanka, love that, are not practicing and will be ruled out versus the Rams. Yeah. To do a little Bucs update here. Yeah, that is true. Hassan Reddick, Jamel Dean not practicing. Bucky Irving in a red hoodie today was out there practicing. So I don't expect any of those guys to play this week and probably will not even make the trip out there. So
are we going to start referring to Hassan Reddick as HRS?
Oh, very nice. That's very nice. I like that.
It's bad.
Listen, the Rams are dealing with a bit of injuries themselves. But they're a really good football team. They're a really good football team, and their defensive line with Verse and Fisk, it's just played extremely well. They're getting turnovers. This offense, Matthew Stafford has had its way against the Bulls defense. It just looks like a tough assignment this week. The Bucs are 7-point underdogs in this one. 7-point underdogs, and we'll pick our games here after the break. So that's coming up. I just think where the Bucs are right now. Listen, if give the ball to Sean Tucker, where I think the Rams might be a little bit vulnerable is a little bit in the power run game. Give the ball to Sean Tucker, get your power run going, open some stuff up for play action passing. You got to have the play action pass this week because this pass rush will eat you alive. And they got to get after Stafford, and I know he's not Josh Allen, but they roll him out, they get him on boots. He can move and he can throw on the run as good as anybody off platform, sidearm, no look passes. He's really good. He's not going to run quarterback power, thank God, because we certainly couldn't stop that. Mm-hmm. Listen, last night watching the Bills lose to the Texans and struggle with protecting Josh Allen. Listen, I know the Texans are elite off the edge, but and this is the deal, folks. When you can get pressure with 4, and I asked Bowles this week. I said against a quarterback like Stafford, who will eat you alive in the blitz, he's just waiting for you to blitz. And trust me, this is why he's done so well against Bowles defenses, because he knows what's coming. And when you get caught in a blitz, especially this defense, you know what happens? Big effing plays. And we've seen that more the last 2 weeks. This is, frankly, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but this is as bad a matchup as I've seen this year with the Bucs in this situation. You're injured. You're heading west. Sunday Night Football. You're 1-7 in prime time with Baker. And it's not Baker's fault, but that's what you are. There's a lot of trends going against you this week. So I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, and teams win games like this every freaking week in the NFL because it's a week-to-week league. So we'll see. But I think that may have given you a little clue of what I'm picking as far as where the Bucs are going this week. All right, couple quick comments. Sergio Biltres, excuse me, says last night was a perfect example of how to beat a good team with a good quarterback. Pass rush, 8 sacks for Houston, and mostly by the edge rushers. No blitzing. They had Allen for the most part contained. Yeah, watching that, for some of the time, well, I was keeping an eye on the Lightning game, obviously.
Look, and I will say this in that regard, because JP, you and I talked about this a little bit before the show about how horrible that makes that Bills loss looked for the Bucs. But don't forget, the Bucs were in Buffalo playing the Bills. The Bills are an entirely different team for whatever reason at home. They're now under 500 on the road after that loss last night. So it's an entirely different team, an entirely different look that you're getting on the road from Buffalo than you are at Highmark Stadium. So take that into account a little bit before we slam the lack of a pass rush, although it is still egregious. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's got to be better. Alex from FL1 says, haven't been able to weigh in on the USF stuff. Anyone calling for Golish's job is going too far. However, if the reports are true that he interviewed with Okie State midseason, then that is unacceptable.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
I don't think it's unacceptable.
The job is open. The interviews take an hour, 2 hours tops. It's part of the deal.
Part of the industry.
It's part of the industry. Everybody does it. All the coaches do it. It's the way this thing is set up. It sucks, but that's the business. So it is acceptable. And you try to keep it under wraps as much as you possibly can. And we don't even know if those reports are true. But even if they are, it's not taking away your focus from the task at hand.
And Alex Golesh is thinking about his future, maybe not his immediate future, but down the road. He knows he's not going to coach at USF forever. That's not a forever job for him. He has higher aspirations of a bigger conference, maybe the Big 12. And you know what? Those guys that he allegedly interviewed with at Oklahoma State aren't going to be at Oklahoma State forever. That's
right.
Part of building relationships in this business. Look, even though I know in my head I'm not leaving USF, I'm still going to interview for this job because I want to meet these guys and I want to get to know these guys. I want them to get to know me because that could benefit me down the road when I'm interviewing for an SEC job or another Big 12 job. So that's more of building relationships than it is wanting to leave where you are.
And to know what's out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can see all the reports you want, but until somebody puts a contract on the table and says, hey, we're going to pay you $5 million a year, then you have an 85% buyout and you're looking at, $30-40 million guaranteed. And I'm here to tell you, it could go south at South Florida really quickly. And then you're on nobody's list.
Yeah.
And that goes for any program.
Well, and it goes for any industry. Like, let's take radio, for example, JB. If I'm working here in Dallas radio and I've got a midday show that I love my job and I'm being paid well and I have no intention of going anywhere, if WFAN from New York calls me and says, hey, we'd like to interview over the phone for an opening, you think I'm not taking that interview?
Damn right you are.
Just to see and then maybe meet these guys and build a relationship with these guys. It doesn't mean I want to leave. It just means I'm looking towards my future. I may need those contacts in the future. That's all it is.
And like I said, you don't know what people are willing to offer until they offer.
Yeah.
And if Auburn's going to come knocking and you're going to get a buyout of 85% or whatever it is. And so basically you're guaranteed $30 million like Willie Taggart was. How do you say no to that?
Yeah.
I mean, for your family and your family's family, especially a guy like Golesh, who's an immigrant from Russia, came from nothing. I mean, look, folks, it's, again, and I don't want to pick on USF, but sometimes the takes are a little naive as to how this big-time college football thing works. And until... listen, is USF heading towards a P4 conference situation? I think they are, and they deserve it. But until you get there, until you've won stuff and national championships, you are in a certain tier. And those expectations have to mirror that. And when they don't, something's out of whack. Doesn't mean you can't have high expectations. Doesn't mean you're not a great university. Doesn't mean you're not as good or not as good as USF or Florida State or UF or Miami or whatever. It's just where you are in your journey of major college football. You got a late start, and you've done better in the first 29 years than 99.9% of programs, by the way, and be proud of that. But it's still a growing process. And the best thing you could do is rally around Coach Golesh and not be saying it's unacceptable for you to be looking at other jobs that are going to pay you 5 times as much as what you're making now. Not 5 times, but probably 2 or 3. All right, what else we got here? Trying to see some other maybe perhaps topics that we have not got onto. Anything else in here we need to go? All right, let's hit a break. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back on the other side, and we will do some picks for you. If you got any comments you want to throw in there, you don't have to do it. Go on YouTube. You can go on X at the JP Peterson Show and Facebook at JP Peterson as well. Hey, folks, don't go uncovered.com is a website where you can go and find out some information on how to get cheaper health insurance and the different plans that you can get. And the enrollment period is open right now. So it's a great time to call them, and they can walk you through all the different changes that are going on right now with Obamacare and different plans that are coming in and plans that are going out. So let them help you on this, because it's very, very complicated stuff. There is no charge for the call. They don't charge anything. All they do is help you save money. I've worked with them for 5 years, and they've saved me thousands of dollars on health insurance. Don'tGoUncovered.com is the website. And tell them JP sent you. Back in 3 with our picks. It's the holiday season, so come visit the Wonderland. It's the holiday season, so come visit the Wonderland of jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source, with over 25 times the inventory and selection of the average jewelry store. Guys, get your shopping done early, and if you have no idea of the trends and styles that your lady wants, that's cool. The incredible staff, led by Julie and Steve Weintraub and family, will offer up some great ideas with no pressure. They offer everything for the first-time jewelry buyer to the most exquisite selection of museum-quality pieces. Enjoy a comfortable, relaxed atmosphere and experienced staff, geologists, jewelers, and designers for all your jewelry needs. From the luxurious jewelry boxes to their VIP customer care, there's many reasons to make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond. Keep it local this holiday season. Shop online anytime at goldendiamond.com or just come by their showroom at 3800 Overton Road, and always online at goldendiamond.com. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa and KingmakersTampa.com as well, which is where we're coming to you live from, this beautiful production studio that we have here, KingmakersTampa.com. It is a private club, and it is a shared office plan with we also have a sports bar here. We have a golf simulator, so it's all kinds of cool stuff here in Midtown Tampa. So if you're an entrepreneur looking for a workspace outside, get out of the house. You can't work there. And then you could have access to all these great things. We've got a great conference room here, shared office space, private office space. Anything you need is here for you. So check it out, KingmakersTampa.com. Very unique place. Become a member today. Come see me over here at our beautiful FanStream Sports Tampa.
Bring him some lunch. Bring him some lunch.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, absolutely. Couple more comments here from James. We always want to get his in here. So Ole Miss should realize without Lane, there is no more high-powered offense. There is no more recruiting a Division II quarterback and turn him into a star. So pay the man if you want to keep the man. I think they're willing to pay him. It's just whether he wants to stay or not.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah. Marty, actually, this is Joel. Why are all our call names different today?
I don't know. I saw that. I don't know.
Kind of weird. Says Mississippi is racist as F. Just is. I turned down work there. F Northwest Florida is as backwards a place in the country. That's been my experience. Well, I did live for 7 months in Mississippi, and this was way back in the 80s. One of my first TV jobs. And I will tell you, he is absolutely 100% right. There's a bunch of racist mofos. And that was a long, long time ago. But I encumbered racism there that I was absolutely shocked and appalled at multiple times. And I was like, really? Y'all still do this here? Like, yeah, really weird. I did not like it at all. I totally agree with you 1,000%. It was embarrassing, really, to be honest, as an American. All right, let's get to our picks, partner. Why don't you run the show here? What you got?
All right, JP. Most of my picks, the correct soundbite to play would be struggling. We're going to keep that theme going here as
well. We both had the Bucs over last week.
Mm-hmm.
But I picked the Bucs in 5.5, and they did. I thought a backdoor cover was coming, but it didn't.
Yeah, always cover the backdoor, JP. That's a very important rule of life that you should have, especially in prison. So let me go over my picks here for you boys. I've got some college for y'all. I've got some NFL for y'all. I'll start here with my college football picks and put them on the screen for those of you that care. If you don't, I'm sorry. I have all my picks from last week. I have at home. I don't have them here at the studio, but these are my locks for you.
Locks
for week 13 college football. OU minus 7.5 versus Missouri. I would take that. The SMU money line minus 155 versus Louisville.
Oh, that's a big game. Yeah.
If you listen to my Pigskin and Burnt Ends college football podcast for the Coast to Coast Gridiron network of TJ Reeves, you'll hear that I have trouble using and saying the word Louisville. Because it gags me because it's in the back of the throat. You can't say Louisville. I'm told that's not wrong.
Louisville.
I say Louisville, but I'm told it's in the back of the throat. And when I go Louisville, I gag. So James Madison, who was trying to get into that college football playoff, minus 13.5 versus Washington State. Book it.
Yeah, Washington State's awful. Yeah. I like that one.
Take the, I don't think I wrote this, the under USC at Oregon, 59. And I'm sorry, no, USC at Oregon minus, that can't be right. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means on my own pick.
59.5 total. You going under?
Yeah, but I wrote minus 59.5. Well, so I think that's supposed to be under.
59.5. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be under on 59.5. Yeah. Arkansas quarterback Talon Green, an anytime touchdown against those Texas Longhorns, plus 120. Book it.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
That dude's badass, man. And then UNC, Coach Bill, team total, take under 22.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then take Nebraska plus 9.5 at Penn State University. There are your college picks, boys and girls.
Nice. Nice.
Get some quick NFL here for week 12. I like this game a lot. Take the Giants plus 10.5 versus Detroit. Detroit's overlooking the Giants.
Yeah.
I like that 10.5. The Cincinnati money line plus 230 over the Pats.
The Bengals over the Pats?
Yep. The Pats are due for a fall. It's going to come against the Bengals as Joe Burrow could return, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Indiana KC under 50.
They don't have Jamar Chase this week.
Nope, no Jamar Chase, and the Chiefs are spiraling.
Yeah.
Dallas plus 3 versus Philadelphia.
I like the under 50 Chiefs Colts. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
That's a good one. And then Tampa Bay plus 7 at the Rams. JP, everybody's hating on Tampa Bay this week. I am not. This is going to be a game that they are going to match. You say they match up poorly. They do on paper, but wait till you get them on the field. Baker's going to have something for the Rams. I'm telling you.
Man, I just cannot believe in this defense. This defense is just, after the last couple of weeks, the bye week did not do Todd Bowles any favors. I'm not sure what they did on the bye week, but man, they have been awful since. Awful. I don't think 7's enough against this defense.
All right.
I'll take the over and the Rams in that one.
All right.
All right. We always pick the FSU NC State game, which is tonight, by the way, as Deuce Robinson goes for 1,000-yard season. He's the only player on offense that I really, really love. What's the number on this one?
That's a good question, JP.
Oh, I thought you had that readily available. My bad. So I think it's
have it in 2 seconds.
I think FSU is actually favored in this game, which is after NC State's debacle in Miami.
Florida State -3.5. I'm sorry, started at 3.5. It is at -5.5 now.
-5.5.
Yep.
Boy, watching NC State last week, they were just flat garbage. But Florida State has not won a road game in over a year and a half. 7 straight losses in the ACC on the road. I just have no confidence in them beating anybody on the road at this point, especially a Friday night. Even as bad as NC State was at Miami. So I think I'll have to go NC State with this one. Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
really?
going against the Noles. Yeah.
By the way, you can read it, my full preview of Wolfpack Seminoles over at fanstreamsports.com.
Nice. All right, USF and UAB. While you get the number on that, USF is averaging 46 points a game on the road in American Conference play this year. So they ain't got no problem taking that show on the road and scoring lots of points.
South Florida -21.5. Also wrote this preview over at fanstreamsports.com.
I think after last week, they blow by that. UAB can't stop anybody. I'm going to go ahead and lay the points in a revenge game of epic proportions just for the feel good for USF. I'll lay the 21.5.
Yep.
All right. Tennessee is a 4-point favorite against the Gators. The Gators are a home dog against the Vols.
And I've got it at 3.5 right now.
Anytime
I'm sorry, 4.5.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. I'm going to take the Gators in the 4.5 points. You going Gators or Tennessee?
I'm going Gators. Yep.
All right.
They're at home.
Good. All right. And we picked the Bucs game there as well for you. All right. So that's our picks for this week. Hopefully they will bring you lots of money and you will have a great weekend as we will. All right. Quick. Oh, by the way, other college football note, there is scuttlebutt up there. Speaking of FSU, that the Gasparilla Bowl, we heard this last year as well. Mm-hmm. They are very desirous to match up USF and FSU. So if FSU can get bowl eligible by winning tonight against NC State, then that would be we'd fill up Raymond James for that. That would be a hell of a matchup. As a Seminole, I wouldn't like it because we're gonna get our ass kicked by USF. But hopefully Mike can get the boys to show up for a bowl game and actually beat somebody. That would be fun to see.
That'd be fun.
That would be a great matchup. And pack Raymond James Stadium. That would be fun stuff. So let's hope that happens. Gasparilla Bowl. Make it happen. Let's go. The Union Mortgage, right? Union Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. We don't want to miss that. Mr. Cosgrove, thank you very much for that. All right. That'll do it for us here on a Football Friday. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks, Scott Carter, for joining us. Been a great week. Good luck to the Bucs and all your teams this weekend. Prayers for Bucky. Make sure you do that. Say a nice word for him. Let's get him back on the field and support him. And can't wait to see him back on the field with the Buccaneers. That's going to be good stuff when it does happen. Have a great weekend, everybody.